Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas. And I think it's like my year being here on Lotta's channel every Sunday morning. So I'm kind of excited about that. Um, and I wanted to tell y'all that Small Wildflowers and I talked about it, and we are going to do a live show for about an hour on Christmas at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not going to do readings per se, as much as sort of try to open up a conversation hi, 14 Ridi, or that's a smile. Sorry, never mind. Yes, happy Christmas. So we're going to do a show, and I kind of just was hoping it could be a gathering. You guys could throw out maybe some questions you have about different dynamics with spirituality. Nothing personal per se, but just sort of, good morning, Small Wildflowers. Good morning, Kat Erin Davis. Good morning, Jules. Good morning, Debbie Rule. Good morning, Mackenzie. Good morning, Crystal. And Small Wildflowers and I have come up with a little surprise for you for Christmas Day. And those of you that actually show up will find out what that is. So we'll have to see. But anyway, okay, so business at hand. We picked two numbers this week, 146. Can you see that? Oh, the lighting's not helped. 146 and 353, and they were big losers. Nobody won that. So kind of a drag, but I think our plan for Christmas Day will fix some of that. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about this eclipse coming up this week, you guys. It's supposed to have some very good elements. We have Jupiter involved and Uranus. I think the key words are unexpected good fortune coming out of nowhere, and boy, what a relief that will be. But before we go into our readings today and address those dynamics a little bit further, it was an interesting week for me, guys, because as always, I contemplate the totem. And Friday, I kind of came up with the idea of the drum. And then I opened my phone and I saw the local newspaper. And there's a gentleman that I see every single day when I walk my dog. And every single day it's, hi, Chip. Hey, Teri. Hi, Lucky. And I just saw him the other day and he passed away right around the full moon. Unexpectedly. And I have to tell you, it really, really affected me, because I'll tell you, in the literally, 10 years I've been seeing this man walking, we've never had more than that kind of conversation. Hey, Chip. Hey, Teri. How's your day? Good. All right. Talk to you later. And he used to sit on this bench looking out south over the ocean with these other gentlemen. And it literally is Chip's spot. Everybody is during the summertime, if he was taking his walk, you would see his t-shirt wrapped over the thing, or his little umbrella that he would attach to it. And I got to tell you, this hit me hard. For a person who I don't really know, who was just an acquaintance, there was a steadiness about his energy. There was a calmness and a sincerity to this man. And for a long time, I wasn't sure if he was a homeless guy, because I would see him in his very clean van, and he'd be putting his sunscreen on and, getting ready to go sit on his perch. And I found out he lived in the canyon, and he was 74 years old when he passed, and he had lost his son 4 years ago. And that he hadn't been feeling well over this last year, but he didn't want to go to the doctor. And I guess the week of the eclipse, he really was not feeling well. And because he was somebody who was so dependable in his routine, that when he didn't show up, the guys went and found him. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that, because what hit me was he had a profound effect on me in some ways, just being steady, just always sort of being an only person in the world who calls me Teri. Hey, Teri. Hey, Teri. So I just kind of wanted to say, I was going to use drum as the totem, but I'm kind of feel like I just kind of want to bring up noticing those people that you see every day that you maybe don't really pay much attention to, but somehow there is an energy within the dynamic within the exchange. So, and yes, it's sad that he passed here in the physical, but I believe in life after death. So I'm pretty sure Chip is well aware of the effect he's had on so many, maybe more so now than he ever did in life, because he was just an unassuming guy. He was just a guy whose energy was straight and steady and dependable and even keel. And there were moments, days when I would walk the dog and I'd be in a cranky mood. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want to say hi today, or oh, I'm gonna avert my eyes, pretend I don't see him. And I think that's one of the reasons that made me feel so affected by this, is that I'm not steady. My emotions come and go. And while I'm a spiritual teacher, I'd like to say everything, is hunky dory all the time. I have my own moments of doubt and indecision and insecurities. So I just hope we'll all send a little love out to Chip Lambert. He was a great guy, spent most of his life here in Laguna Beach, California, and he will be missed. So, okay, here we go. Let's go on to our readings, everybody. And just want to let you know that we're never shy about hitting the like button here on Teri's show. And again, I know I just mentioned it before, but for you guys that are just coming in the room, Rosemary, Michelle, Angie, and I'm not sure, Agnista, I'm not sure how to say that, Faith. We're going to be doing a show for about an hour on Christmas Day. We're going to do it midday, so it gives people at least midday here, give people an opportunity to do their Christmas morning and before they go into their Christmas evening or afternoon. Just going to be a quick little spiritual discussion talk. We may, I don't know, we're going to play it by ear. So, all right, so let's go on to our readings. Again, this week we have an eclipse. For those of us in the United States, it's actually Christmas evening is going to happen. When I checked in Los Angeles, it'll be about 10 p.m., and then it'll be on the 26th for those on the East Coast and throughout the rest of the world. This particular eclipse is going to have long-reaching effects for the next 6 months, and it's being affected by Jupiter and Uranus. So unexpected events bringing good things into our lives. And what a relief that is, guys. I'm over this whole walking through mud in 2019. So I'm really looking forward to a little lighter energy. All right, so let's start with Pisces. Here we go. Pisces, sun, moon, rising, of course, and stelliums. And the reason I say stelliums is because when there's a large number of planets in one area, it's going to have a significant effect. So pay attention to that, guys. All right, here we go. Pisces. Our first angel is Xana. The second is Astera. The third is Ariel. And the final is Archangel Raphael. Okay. Welcome, Gabriel. Thank you. Welcome, Angie. Welcome, Foxy Girl 646. Welcome, Merkaba Molly. Oh, that's my Molly. Is that my Molly? I think that's my Molly from Australia. Okay. And all right, everybody. Okay, here we go. Joining Xana is the horse. Joining Astera is the Lady of the Lake. Joining Ariel is the restriction card. And joining Archangel Raphael is the wasp. Okay, this is what I want to say about this. It's so interesting to me because I feel like this is actually very fortuitous in many ways for my Pisces rising, sun, moon, stelliums, okay? Because Xana is the angel of protection. She is, no, Molly, you didn't miss the start. We're just starting. Teri goes backwards. I start with Pisces and I work my way to Aries. So we're just starting to warm up here. Okay, good morning, JP. Good morning, Gigi. Okay, so Xana. Xana is the angel of protection. And really, for me, this is about physical Rather than physical protection, it's about emotional and spiritual protection. And then here we have the horse. For my Pisces, I want to say that I believe that you are being protected as you intuitively know that it is time to start to carve out a new direction for yourself. A couple months ago, we had horse as the totem. And one of the things we talked about was that horse is about blazing new trails. The horse was the first internet, it was the way man connected. Once the horse was domesticated, man was able to travel bigger distances and go new directions. So I want to say for Pisces that you are being protected as you give life to going to new directions. And in those new directions, we have in the opportunity, the obstacle, the Lady of the Lake, and Astera. The Lady of the Lake holds Excalibur, the sword of truth. And she's standing in a bit of tumultuous waters as she moves towards what is most important to her. And there's Astera saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires. And I want to say it this way because this goes back to being protected as you start to move into new directions, directions that are more congruent, more authentic to your heart, to your bigger version of yourself. Because in the Angel's Advice, we have Ariel and the restriction card. And what I believe is that this is about giving yourself an opportunity to put a pause as you connect with spirit so that you can feel the next step towards your when I want to say next step, it's almost as if you are allowing spirit to confirm that your energetic dynamic is aligned to where you want to go. Because what I believe is happening for Pisces is a healing from being frustrated, from being angry, from being annoyed, or feeling thwarted towards moving where you want to go. So I want to put it this way. Here we have Jupiter and Uranus, I believe in trine, okay? Yeah, because Uranus is in Taurus and Jupiter's just now hovering over that early degrees of Capricorn. So we have this unexpected good fortune that that we get to align with. That's where I think the Lady of the Lake is coming in. And part of this for Pisces is if there's been restriction, that there's spirit is moving things around to align to a deeper, more rooted, more concrete dynamic. And that's what I think this last 2 years has been, since we've been talking about the Pluto-Saturn conjunction forever, and it is at those kind of critical degrees of annoyance, but it's also giving us an opportunity to break away from what is not authentic. And in doing so, giving us an opportunity to reconcile wherever we have felt frustrated or angry or pissed off, frankly. And I think that is the healing comes from giving yourself permission to move in a new direction. So let me be really kind of give you an example. Doing the work I do, and I don't know if you guys watch Ksenia as well, but Ksenia had a while back had a little bit of a challenge she talked about with her family not understanding astrology and sort of rubbing up against her. I got the impression that they thought it was the devil's work or that it was somehow of a lower vibration. If indeed for my Pisces, you are moving in a direction that others don't understand, I feel like Archangel Raphael is offering you a healing, a reconciliation, a trusting that you're being protected to a newer happiness, to a deeper rooted sense of fulfillment within your life experience. And if you stay muted, if you stay where you have been, which has been not quite where you want to be, feeling emotionally, being fulfilled, there will be more frustration. So I believe that this is an opportunity, and this is where this eclipse comes in and brings in this unexpected and I want to say this because it may be an epiphany. Jupiter rules our beliefs. Jupiter rules the connection to the angelic realm. So it may not necessarily be something that's concrete, like, a new job opportunity, although it could be, but it could be a shift in this anchoring in to this new direction, knowing that you're being protected, and then knowing that there's a reconciliation that comes. And when I say reconciliation, it's where something makes sense. It's where whatever was disruptive, I can see the wisdom of it so that it propels me to a deeper, more authentic experience for myself. Okay, let's go on to our Aquariuses. Good morning, Shelly. Good morning, Cosmo Kid. I think I said hi to Michelle, JP, Rabita. Welcome. Okay. And for those of you that are just joining the show, we are going to be doing an hour at 1 p.m. on Christmas Day. I'm not going to be doing another readings, but more sort of just a little bit of a conversation I think we're going to have and just kind of see how it plays out. And we have a little surprise for you, Small Wildflowers and I. So if you show up, you'll find out what that is. If you're not able to make the live show, that's awesome. But only the people who make the live show will be qualifying for the surprise. Okay, here we go. On to our Aquariuses. Okay. Our first angel is Archangel Raphael. The second is Daniel. The third is Rochelle. And the final is Yvonne. All right. Again, that's Aquarius, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Good morning, Teri. Welcome. Okay. All right. Joining Archangel Raphael is the Joy card. Joining Daniel is the King. Joining Rochelle is Merlin. And joining Yvonne is the Risk card. Okay. For my Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. Stelliums, again, is a group of planets in Aquarius. I want to say this. I feel like Aquarius has an opportunity to really step into, and when I use the word healing, I'm not really a big fan of the word because somehow it infers that we were broken. I don't believe that we were broken. I believe that we come as souls to this earth experience because we are here to be empowered by the things that are challenges, by the obstacles in some ways. If we never were sitting in a place of challenge, we would never know what we're capable of. So this is what I want to say for Aquarius is, I believe that you're having a reconciliation of what joy means for you, because I want to go to the final position. And for my Aquariuses, I believe that it's risking a bigger picture and being vulnerable to the things that truly bring you joy. So, and I want to offer you this idea because there's something to do with partnerships here. There's something, because in the opportunity, the obstacle is Daniel, the angel of marriage, and then there's the king. The king can represent legal things, can represent things pertaining to the law and justice, but it's also karma. And I believe for Aquarius that this is an opportunity to look at Daniel asks you to look at your history and relationships and to really decide and think about and ponder if that is your future, or if indeed it's somehow some way to empower you, the contrasting experience, and know that karmically you're going to have a bigger version of what's coming, because in the angel's advice is Rochelle asking you to honor and follow the guidance of your heart. And there's Merlin, again, a karmic card, balance, justice, and alchemy. I believe for my Aquariuses that involving partnerships, and I want to put it this way, involving partnerships, it's not, a partnership is we oftentimes think of it outside of ourselves. We think of it as, oh, me in relation to somebody else. But often you'll hear, you can't love anybody else until you love yourself, kind of thing. So this is more about, this is kind of a double thing. I've got joy in allowing for the joy in partnerships brings a reconciliation, which then empowers me to love at a deeper level as I reconcile the karmic dynamic, and I allow myself as an Aquarius to follow my heart and trusting a bigger picture, asking yourself, Aquarius, do I really believe in love? And if I do believe in love, then why would I settle for anything less than what my version of love is? So let me just give you an example. I, as Terry Hunter, am not a very frivolous person. I don't enjoy frivolous conversations. I don't know the labels of my clothes, and I'm just not. I like nice things, but I just like them because I like them. And I love to talk about astrology, and I love to talk about spirituality. So if I'm going to truly be joyful, I'm going to have to surround myself with partnerships that support that idea of what brings me the greatest happiness. And it is my job to risk a bigger picture. So Jupiter is in the mix. Uranus is in the mix here. What if this eclipse with its 6-month influence gives you the opportunity to say to your guides and your angels, hey, I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm ready to step into a joyous dynamic. And when I say joyous, this is about your perspective. You know that it's about how you choose to view a situation, because happiness is not bestowed upon us. It is literally how we view a dynamic. So this to me feels really powerful. As Aquarius follows and honors the guidance of your heart, then you're risking a bigger picture. And I believe that this eclipse is going to start to lay the stepping stones to show you and prove to you that you're moving in the right direction towards your heart's desire. Okay. Good morning, Brianna. I just started. We're on Aquarius and we're moving towards Aries. On my show, I go backwards. I started this a couple of Mercury retrogrades ago, and I can't seem to shift it out. Perception is a big word, but it is truly the key to our happiness. You put two people in the same situation and they won't have the same experience. They will, they could potentially, but still, even if they both have a great experience, there could be subtle nuances that shift. So as we I think that, okay, so for you guys that just started watching, I was telling a little story about a gentleman named Chip that has passed on about a week ago. Chip really made me aware of my perspective and how I've been very bogged down by Saturn and this transit. It's also, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, but I've got my K2 is at 3 degrees Aries. And so it's squaring all that nonsense as well. And so I've really been feeling sluggish and kind of feeling happy when I have so much to be happy about. So when he passed and seeing how simple things made him happy, it triggered my perception. I have so many good things happening in my life. I've worked so hard to be able to stand in this energy. And so I was frustrated with myself. So that's why I'm putting it that way. Okay. Yes, I believe 1 p.m. I think Faith, you're 3 hours before us. So I think it would actually be 10 o'clock. And then it would be 4 o'clock New York time. I think that's how it works. Okay, and thank you for Brianna about my hair. Thank you very much. All right, let's go on to our Capricorns. I agreed, Regina. It's been a challenging dynamic, but I think that as we surrender to the challenge, it really gives us an opportunity to move out what wasn't working, what wasn't really true and authentic. So, good morning, Rossi. Okay, thank you, JP. I appreciate it. It's not really. It's interesting. It feels more like it's a community loss. Laguna is an interesting town because for all the affluence that people perceive here, there's an underbelly of real kind of like a surfer sort of grassroots people that live here. And Chip was kind of the epitome of that. He was an old surfer. He was a volleyball player, and he was just a chill, laid back guy. So he really, he had kind of obviously he had a bigger influence on me than I even realized. So, okay, here we go. We're going on to Capricorn. Let's see what's up for our Capricorn rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. Our goats can use some relief, I'm sure. All right. Our first angel is Archangel Raphael. Our second is Athena. The third is Omega. And the final is Oceana. Yes, Pisces was first, and then I worked my way towards Aries. Oh yes, Capricorn, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. Okay. Archangel Raphael is being joined by the eagle. Athena is being joined by the water fairy. Omega is being joined by the perception card. And Oceana is being joined by the swan. This is really, really neat. Okay. So we talked earlier about Jupiter and Uranus are trining each other. They're influencing this eclipse. Well, the angelic realm is ruled by Jupiter. So here for my Capricorns, you have an opportunity for, and I like to call it reconciliation, because I feel like a healing is when I understand the challenge and I'm illuminated and strengthened by it. And here is the eagle. The eagle, again, represents the angelic realm. It represents spirit. It represents Archangel Raphael and this whole dynamic. Because what I want to say for Capricorn is I feel like this last year especially, you've been going through a huge transformation. And here in the final position is a swan and Oceana. And for me, this is about trusting your intuitive gifts, which is about trusting your connection to the angelic realm. So what I want to say, this eclipse feels like it's giving Capricorn, moon, sun, stelliums, and rising an opportunity to have an experience with their intuition, with their spiritual dynamic, with the connection to their own team that is watching over them. Because here is Athena saying it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then here is the water fairy. This is my intuitions. And I want to say it this way because in the angel's advice, we have Omega, the victory card, and the perception card. I want to put it this way. I feel like for Capricorn, that you're starting to really see how the connection to spirit, how energy, how just the way we breathe oxygen, we don't see it, but we know it's there. I feel like that's what's happening for Capricorn. It's like you're grounding and you're cementing your connection to the angelic realm, which allows you to take action from a different place. And when you take that action from that belief and that connection, then it starts the manifestation process, which is what Capricorn loves, right? So it's almost as if this eclipse is giving Capricorn an opportunity to see the structure within the angelic realm. The rootedness, as I am consistent with my connection to spirit, I'm starting to see the I want to say it's like a conversation. So I say to spirit, okay, this is where I'm wanting to experience. I'm wanting to experience more of my own empowerment, my dynamics. And then something starts to come along and you intuitively take action on it. Then you see spirit confirm that with another rooted experience. And this is starting to stack up. And I bet for Capricorn, 6 months from now, you'll be operating from a very different place. It'll be the be, do, have. You'll be aware of what you believe and your attitude and your disposition in the situation as you take your actions, which then will create your manifestation. So I'm really excited for Capricorn. I feel like, while it's been, especially this last 2019 has been a bit arduous, I think as we let off and we kind of move away from Pluto, we'll get to see the benefits of what that conjunction has been offering us. Thank God. I'm over it. Okay. Welcome, Curly Locks. Welcome, Ritu. Welcome, Jennifer. I hope I said hi to Angie too. Welcome, Tebow. Love seeing you all. So if you just came into the room, wanted to make an announcement, we are going to be doing a show for about an hour at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Christmas Day. And we've got a little surprise for you. For those of you that show up for the live show, it will not be applicable in the comments, but we'll see what happens. And we're just going to do a little bit of a spiritual discussion, sort of I don't know, we're just going to kind of get together and throw all our energy together and see what happens. Okay, and because we have eclipse that literally on the West Coast, it will be at, I believe, 10 o'clock, and then we'll be, so we're setting an intention also with this little meeting, guys, of using this eclipse's energy, using the dynamics that Uranus offers us. It's not just the unexpected, it's liberation, it's freedom from old beliefs, Jupiter, into new beliefs that take us to higher realms. So I feel like that's what we're doing for this Christmas day. Okay, on to our Sagittarius. Debbie, I think it's 1 p.m. Pacific. If you're in Arizona, I think it's the same time, but I'm not sure if Central Time is the same as Pacific during Standard Time. Oh, and yes, you guys, be sure to put your number in for next week. We had no winners this week with 353 and 146. Boo hiss. And be sure to come back and check. I have to tell you, of the winners we've had, only half the people have actually had their readings. Sir Gordon Gecko never came back, so that went bye-bye. So please come back. I'm dying to give you stuff. Okay. No, I have not done Virgo rising yet. I'm on my way there. And Earthshine, just try to breathe through it. It's a challenging, it can be a little bit. This has been an interesting time. Okay, here we go. Number 512 is out of range. The number ranges between 2 and 500. We'll put a recap of the numbers out of play. Debbie, we're starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Christmas Day. Yes. Okay, and 1 is out of play. Empress Light, we've already used 1. Okay, on to our Sagittariuses. Francesca is our first angel. The second is Fiona. The third is Rosetta. And the final is Aurora. Well, this is kind of fun because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And now we're talking about having this serendipitous, this unexpected good fortune that comes from, and serendipity is sometimes what appears to be a little bit of disruption. It's something that fortuitous that comes out of nowhere or out of something unexpected. So, okay. Francesca is being joined by the Spider. Fiona's being joined by the Joy card. Rosetta's being joined by the Wasp. And Aurora's being joined by the Baird. Okay. For my Sagittariuses, Francesca will talk about, what do you visualize right now? It will come about. Negativity will block your progress. I want to offer you this idea because trying to be positive in the face of negativity, and I want to say this, negativity is fear run amok. It is fear focused on. It is running all the scenarios and all the game plan of what doesn't work or what the potentials are. Oh, 3 months from now, I may not ever have any money. So I want to put it this way. When you're having challenges, focusing in on what's positive, don't try. Don't try. Instead, say to Spirit, I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I'm having a little bit of trouble, and I need you to help me anchor in a bigger version of myself. And if in this moment you can't, as a human being, hold this space, then thank your oversoul for holding it for you. Because and the Spider is a very interesting card for me. The Spider is about, to me, it's always about the fly that goes into the web. It's a cooperative relationship. It's as if the fly is saying, it's my time, and I will nourish the spider. And so there is something here to me where, for my Sagittariuses, being able to connect to a higher version of what you want and also surrendering your fears will anchor in a higher vibration. I will say that because in the angel's advice, we have Fiona, in the opportunity of the obstacle, we have Fiona saying, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. And there's the Joy card. I feel like this is Fiona's extremely not only is she relaxed, she is joyous in this. And I want to say it this way because I feel like potentially Sagittarius's frustration may be blocking the manifestation of what they want. It's almost as if sometimes, like the minute I said this, I felt like I was talking to somebody who was in their 20s and they say, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. But it's not about getting married. It's about who you marry. And that's important because I feel like frustration may be blocking you from your deeper wants and desires. And it's almost as if the experience you want, you may be looking at it too much. I almost want to say surface in some ways, because again, I want to be married. I want to have a baby. I want to have a, white picket fence. None of those things are great if they're not aligned. You can have a white picket fence and it could be like a prison wall, and you could be married, but to somebody who, you don't really align with, and then it becomes a nightmare. So I want to put it this way. Have a bigger version of yourself, because Aurora is saying you're flying high right now. Don't descend, that your way of being will soon threaten, will soon inspire others, but you're going to threaten them first because you're breaking the box of thought. You're breaking the box of history. Okay, so we have all these statistics as human beings. Oh my God, finding a job in Hollywood after 40 is impossible. Getting married after 40 is impossible. All these things that are, going to tank us. I feel like for Sagittarius, this eclipse offers you an opportunity to really dig deep into what it is that you believe about yourself and your life path, and to start to stand joyously in that energy as you call upon God and the angels in an energy that says, thank you. Thank you for bringing me this experience, and for me knowing that if I hadn't gotten so pissed off about not getting what I want, I may never have moved towards what it is that I really want. Okay. Valerie, it's interesting. You can say seeing things through rose-colored glasses. Some people may take that as almost like a frivolous thought. But if thoughts are things, and if thoughts actually start to create our experience, because we step into our experiences based on our thoughts and our beliefs. So I'll be happy to wear those rose-colored glasses because they're going to support a bigger version of what I want. Okay. All right, JP, break that box, shatter it, man, because that's the new way. This is the new generation. This is why YouTube is here. It's why there's all these apps being invented for people to show their unique expression. If you think about it, guys, the Kardashians have made a career of just expressing themselves, taking pictures and utilizing the dynamics of this technology. So as we give ourselves permission to break the box of thought, and then to sort of put ourselves, well, if they could do it, why can't I do it? Yes, I agree, Valerie. Rose-colored glasses, optimism. What I was saying is I was agreeing with your comment, but I also wanted to give it deeper roots. It's not a frivolous thing to look at life through rose-colored glasses. It starts a momentum that brings those roses. And don't forget, roses have thorns. So if you're not careful, every rose has its thorn. There's the contrasting experience. All right, let's go on to our Scorpios. Scorpio, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. And wait, there was a comment I wanted to look at for a second. Let me back up here for a second, guys. Somebody said, there it is, Earth Shine Massage. You have a stellium in the 12th house. That is so interesting. I want to offer you this idea for your stellium in the 12th house, because I don't know what your 12th house is. But in general, the 12th house is a spiritual house. Yes, it's a house of isolation. It's a house of hospitals, a house of prisons. But it's also a house of ashrams and retreats and spiritual enlightenment. So as you use the dynamics of Pluto wanting to dig deep, your intuitions with the moon, Mars the truth seeker, Uranus liberating you, and your north node making you voracious for that experience, then you can start to cut away the fat that doesn't work for you. And that, I think, will lift whatever depression. Spirit has shown me that depression is really the absence of our own vision for ourselves, feeling aligned to somebody who, or a dynamic that is not true to ourselves. So, okay. Well, I think I agree with you, Jennifer. I'm just using, sometimes I use these examples, not because I think I support good or bad. It's just about the bravery and courage to be your own self, to put yourself out there and to sort of, how do I want to, because we're, as humans, we want the approval. We're pack animals. We want to feel accepted, but I feel like this is a time when we accept ourselves for our unique expression, and that gives us permission to let other people do that, and it sort of removes judgment. So, and that's the law of allowing. A lot of people talk about the law of allowing as being, oh, I'm going to allow good things to come to me. I'm going to allow money. I'm going to allow relationships. I'm going to allow my good health. But it's also about allowing other humans, other souls, to have whatever experience they want. I personally am not a big workout queen. I don't like to run around, but there are people running up and down the highway for hours. They love that kind of stuff. So, they get to be who they are, and I get to be who I am. Okay. Here we go. On to our Scorpios. Now pick up some speed here. Jules, you may think that you lack direction, but I think sometimes when people think they lack direction, it's because they have a committee inside their head saying, will this person approve of my direction? Or will this dynamic, or will this job support it? Or will I be able to pay my bills? And will I be able to thrive? There's such a committee in our heads. And if we can start to get that committee to work for us, meaning align those dynamics. And this is, again, where I think the it feels pseudo. Pluto and Saturn transit is bringing really a lot of this up. And now that we have this eclipse with Jupiter and Uranus, liberation, freedom from old thoughts, freedom from restriction. If we can align to that, it brings this crescendo that makes sense for moving forward. So if you're feeling like you're lacking direction, I almost want to say, Jules, if you had no restrictions of money, time, age, whatever, I bet you'd be able to find a direction you'd want to go. Okay, Scorpio, I promised you a reading. I bet I make these timestamps pretty tough, huh? Because I say I'm going to start it and then I talk. Okay, Scorpio, our first angel is Xana, the angel of protection. The second is Desiree. The third is Maya. And the final is Isaiah. All right, here we go. Libra's on its way. I go backwards, Rossi. I start with Pisces and I end with Aries. So Libra will be next. Okay, Scorpio. Xana is being joined by the Focus card. Desiree is being joined by the Dragon. Maya is being joined by the Cow. And Isaiah is being joined by Merlin. Okay. Again, this eclipse is extremely powerful for shifting ourselves into a dynamic that, and when I say shifting, I want to say it's through our intention, of using this energy together. Because for my Scorpios, Sun, Moon, and Stelliums, and rising, of course, Xana is saying you're being protected from all types of harm. This is mostly spiritual and emotional. And I believe they're asking Scorpio to look at your focus. What are you focusing on right now? Because I believe that if indeed you've been feeling depleted, or you've been feeling worked over, or the energy of Pluto, death and rebirth is no easy feat, and the butterfly will tell you that. The dragonfly will tell you that. These are animals and insects that transform within the life experience, and that's what's being offered for Scorpio, is transformation within the life experience, not having to die and start over again. Because here's the power and strength card. And what I think Desiree is saying is to look deeper into this this experience you're having, and to focus in on the ways you've been protected spiritually and emotionally from being pulled under. Because in the angel's advice, we have the cow and we have Maya. Cow is about, for me, it's about asking and receiving. And we were just talking about the laws of allowing. And I feel like Maya is offering you an education in the laws of allowing you to be powerful and not to dumb down. Pluto is for a small planet, it packs a punch. And I think it's important to allow yourselves to look at the benefit of Pluto versus the challenge of Pluto, because Isaiah is saying it's a good time to start new ventures, new ideas, new projects. This is a pregnant woman. She's being protected by the angel, and there's Merlin. Balance, justice, and alchemy. I believe that as Scorpio focuses in on the idea that there is a much stronger influence going on. And I want to put it this way, because those of you that come to watch these shows and watch these videos, whether it's me or Lotta or Brian or any one of the teachers on this channel, you're coming here with the intention of evolution, whether you realize it or not. And you're coming here in some ways, you're standing as a light for others when you leave these videos and you walk out into the world. So I feel like for Scorpio, it's time to take your power back. It's time to say, dang, man, I'm the bomb. And things might have blown up at one point over these, or there may be a series of disruptive experiences, but it's aligning you to a deeper truth of what your power is. So I feel like this is really good. And I want to offer it to give yourself a present this Christmas day and set an intention to claim your life and to use the planets and the stars to align that for you. Because again, this is an eclipse that has an opportunity to bring fortuitous events. The fortuitous events sometimes will look initially like, I want to use the word loss, but I don't think it's loss in the traditional way. It just feels like transformation of some kind. It feels like a sort of a death, but not an actual physical death. And it may be in your belief system, Jupiter. It may be the death of the depressing dynamic of Pluto, the sort of, I'm never going to get over this, and start to see it the other way, because that's what I think Xana and Isaiah are offering you. It's really, Barbara, it's not an ending, it's a new beginning. And Darcy, I like that. Shedding is a good word. Okay, like the snake, shedding his skin and getting a fresh start. Okay. Thank you, Laura. Okay, we are going on to our Libras now. All right. Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising, Libra Stelliums. I think that, Thibaut, that looks like a kind of a good combination. I don't know exactly like whether they're squares or sextiles or whatever, but I think those sounds like, I have Uranus and Leo as well in the 5th house. I don't know. It's funny about Uranus because as a human, we get sort of nervous about the unexpected, because we just always think it's going to be something that clubs us upside the head. But this dynamic with Jupiter's influence really has an opportunity for an interior revolution, an interior claiming of a bigger dynamic for ourselves. And then taking that into the new year, which will be supported by Uranus as it moves forward. And then the conjunction between Pluto and Saturn will be the final awareness of what is not aligned. And those of us that are standing consciously will have an easier transition than those that are unaware. Okay. All right, here we go. Libra, Libra, Libra. Good morning, CC Pups. Good morning, Maja. Good morning, Lucy. I think I said hello to everybody. Good morning, Angela. All right, our first angel for Libra is Maya. The second is Rosetta. The third is Archangel Michael. And the final is Isaiah. Maya is being joined by the Focus card. Rosetta is being joined by the Cow. Archangel Michael is being joined by the Frog. And Isaiah is being joined by the Risk card. Okay. So, again, here I'm going to just bring it up again. Maya is a card of schooling and education. She is one of my favorite angels because what she does is she's constantly showing me where my focus is. She's constantly showing me that I manifest as a result of what my concentrated thoughts are. And while Saturn has been literally sitting on my midheaven for frickin' forever, pardon my language, and this is kind of where I was like, before I studied astrology, I ignorance was bliss, but I want to say it this way because I am a Libra sun and I have been so aware of my focus and that my focus has not been aligned to a place where I want it to be. And it's like I have this cerebral knowing that my life is awesome, but my heart chakra has been walking through mud. And so this is, again, a constant education that I'm getting as a Libra sun to ask myself, what do I really believe? And you know what I really believe is that I am supported by the universe. And I'm going to say that because I go by the final position is the Risk card and Isaiah. And if we look again, it's about giving birth to new ideas and new situations. That's what this whole Pluto-Saturn transit has been offering us. That is what this eclipse offers us, is new beliefs and risking a bigger picture, that if we believe in a bigger version of ourselves, that we will be able to see where our focus is. Because in the opportunity of the obstacle is the Cow, about asking and receiving. And then there's Rosetta. And again, I want to say this, Rosetta for me right now, is a childlike innocence that the Cow represents spirit, making sure I will receive everything I need to nourish myself. And this goes back to my Maya and the Focus card. Because what happens is when we start to focus in on the worry, it can grip us so deep. And we just start running these scenarios, and it's almost as if we can't help ourselves. So this is where Archangel Michael and the angel's advice is asking us to have the courage to actually leap into a new version of ourselves, to have a childlike innocence that everything we need will be provided for us. And I want to offer my Libras this idea. I personally, the main thing about my Libra sun is balance. Like I balance and fairness. And when I can see one thing, but I feel another thing, it drives me crazy. So here I am seeing that I have this great life. And yet my first couple of years that I worked for myself, I was on such a high. I mean, it was like every day I woke up, it was like, wow. And now I'm kind of used to doing this. And I don't do the wow the way I used to. And I miss the wow. And it's kind of funny because it's this, I know somewhere there's a transition going on inside me, but I don't quite know what it is. So here I have to sit in this risking a bigger picture that spirit has me and is showing me a new step, here's how I want to put it. I feel like Libra is learning through their focus, okay? Maya is teaching us that we will receive everything that we need, and we have to have the courage to allow for a period of time where there could potentially be an unknowing of what that is. What is the next step? Because sometimes we have to risk the pause so that we can be inspired. And that's how we start to learn about our focus. So I want to kind of summarize for Libra. When there's too much focus on the what if, the where will it, how will it happen, it's not happening, this is what I believe this eclipse is giving us an opportunity to step into the Jupiterian energy of connecting with the higher realms, the angelic realm, in a faith-based place where we haven't naturally or experienced yet it in the 3D world, but we know it's coming with our childlike innocence, and then stepping back. That's what the Risk card is. It's not about moving forward. It's about risking the pause of a bigger picture so spirit can lead the way. I hope that made sense. Okay, going on to Virgo. Thank you, Barbara. I feel like this is a natural progression. Good morning, Rachel. Good to see you. I feel like there's a natural ebb and flow to life when we are endeavoring something that we want. We feel so, oh, I get that it's going to make me feel so happy. But every dream, once we attain it, leads to the next big dream. And that's part of why I say this planet is full of contrasting experiences. There is no place of, we can pretend that we become complacent or that we want this, but I don't believe the human really wants that because it's boring. I feel like the reason we even bother to come into this planet is for this experience. Because when we've been pushed down and then we emerge and rise up, it's exhilarating. So I feel like that's part of, for me, the next step is to allow for, I feel like it's this way. In Barbara, when I'm not getting the wow anymore, it's the dip that's going to lead to the next big wow again. It's because this is the thing. It's all in my weird human head. It's not actually, I get validation. I get, appreciative clients. It's just kind of the thing it's familiarity, you get used to doing something and then we're looking for the other exhilaration. I hope that's making sense. I don't know if I'm crazy right now, but that's what I think is going on for Libra. It's about paying attention to where my focus is so that I can create the next big exhilaration. But I don't know what that is yet. Libra doesn't know what that is yet. Or if you know what it is, you can't quite see the steps to getting there. And that's why you have to risk spirit showing you, watching over you as you make these changes. Okay. All right. Now we're going on to Virgo. Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, and Virgo stelliums. And just for clarity, the way I really kind of see it is first rising, then moon, because the moon rules our emotions. And everything we do is based on our emotions, our beliefs. Then I think stelliums are really important to pay attention to, honestly. Then our sun. Okay. Yeah, and be sure to put in your numbers between 2 and 500 to potentially win a half hour. You got to come back and check. Thank you, Debbie. I'm looking forward to that. More and more views. The astrology week was there's so much information that came through, so much great information that came through. But yeah, it was a lot of people producing a lot of stuff. So we can be watching that for a while. All right, here we go, Virgo. Woo. Okay, our first angel for Virgo is Merlina. The second is Aurora. The third is Daniel. And the final is Crystal. Okay, Merlina's being joined by the Raven, Aurora's being joined by the Truth, Daniel's being joined by Protection, and Crystal's being joined by the Fire Fairy. So cool. So I want to say this. So we talked about Uranus. Uranus is unexpected. Uranus is freedom and liberation, electricity, the internet, all sorts of fun stuff. Systems without a center. But I want to put it this way. This to me feels very Uranian right now because Merlina is saying you're confused, Virgo, because you don't have enough information. And then the Raven is saying this is a timing number. This is a timing issue. This is about synchronistic events. It's about the spirit putting things and people and places into alignment because, and I'm going to go to the final position. Crystal is saying have faith and hope because there's more on the horizon. And the Fire Fairy is about creative action and optimism. So here we go, Virgo. You are a sign that, you're ruled by the 6th house. That's work, that's dependability, that's reliability for me because, when you're in a workplace, that's what your employers expect from you. And I feel like Right now, your opportunity is to stand in a little bit of confusion, in a little bit of indecisiveness, in a little bit of that, uh-oh, I'm not sure. Have I done what I need to do to get where I want to go? And I believe that Spirit is saying yes. Now we add in this eclipse. Within the next 6 months, there could very much be evidence of what you're wanting that's coming into the 3D world. Because in the opportunity or the obstacle is the Truth card and Aurora. And we just talked about Aurora saying that you're flying high right now, that don't descend, that you may soon inspire others, and that you may threaten at people initially. That's a breaking of the box. It's doing things in a way, most people will say faith doesn't produce results. You got to work hard to produce results. Spirit has shown me over and over again that faith is the very seedling that produces results. And here is my Virgos standing in their truth, breaking an old box. Because in the angel's advice, Daniel is saying to me, Daniel is the angel of marriage, but he talks about bringing in a history, bringing in a story of partnerships. I don't think this is about marriage right now. I think what it is about the story, and that you, Virgo, are being protected from your story when you break the box and stand in your truth. And in doing so, it empowers you, because this Uranus aspect of this eclipse is going to unexpectedly bring in what it is you want, and there's no way you will be able to find it. There's no way that you can go and logically put yourself in practical situations and say, okay, what I want is right over there, because it's not going to be that way. It's going to come as a surprise, because it's a manifestation of your focused thought throughout this period of time. Okay, that was very exciting for me. Pay attention to when you're seeing ravens and the number of ravens, because then to me that sort of is an indication of it could be like if you've been seeing a lot of ravens, and ravens talk about magic. Magic is the alignment of my belief with spirit, and therefore then the manifestation comes and it looks like magic. So pay attention. And also when it comes to birds, any sort of birds, because feathers are always going to represent the angelic realm. Ravens are black, so we can think of them sometimes. We saw the raven sitting on a skull. So you can see that sometimes it may appear to be a death and a birth, magic coming out of nowhere. That kind of didn't make sense, magic, but okay, let me be clearer. When I look at the skull and I think of it, I have a rebirth, because now I start to believe in magic. I start to believe in synchronistic events, and I start to see how my focus is contributing to that. Crystal. All right, let's go on to Leo. Funny story for you, Bree X3. There's a ton of crows that hang out in around here, and I was in town one day, and one crow was just having a moment, man. He was cranky and screaming at another crow, and I don't know what happened, but I decided I was annoyed, and I sent energy to that crow like as if I was a fireball. And I gotta tell you, that crow, he stalked me for the next 15 minutes. He chased me down the street, from tree to tree, and yelling at me to the point where he kind of scared me. I was like seeing Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do that again, because I sent cranky energy to that crow. So I kind of want to put it this way. When you hear the crows, they're naturally sound kind of cranky, but be mindful of the direction. Are they heading south, heading north, west, east? How many of them are there? If there are 2, that's a pair. If there's 3, just little subtleties, and then see if you can sort of put the pieces together. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Wow. Maybe Crow has something to say. Crow and Raven have something to say to us today. Okay. Let's go on to our Leos. If I don't hurry up, my battery's going to die. Okay. First angel is Rochelle. Love that. The second is Celeste. The third is Francesca. And the final is Estera. That's fun. Okay. Rochelle is being joined by the frog. Celeste is being joined by the mystery card. Francesca is being joined by the partnership card. And Esther is being joined by the Baird. Okay. So we talk about Leo. Following, Rochelle represents following and honoring the guidance of your heart. And there's the frog. To me, this is really, I just see the frog jumping from one lily pad to another. I feel like, again, we're talking about this eclipse, the opportunity for Jupiter and Uranus to bring in unexpected events that change the way we perceive ourselves. And that's where I feel like this is the opportunity that Leos have. Honor your heart and allow yourself this cleansing. The frog represents cleaning of my emotional body and my emotional house. So I want to say here, because Celeste represents a new job or a new place, a new home or a new place of employment, and there's the mystery card. I want to say this for my Leos. Oftentimes I will say that Celeste represents the way I feel, the way I think, because as I shift the way I think, because you can put me anywhere, you can put me in Dubai, you can put me in, Wyoming, you can put me in Japan, and I'm going to think the way I think and take my actions based on that. But I want to put it this way. I kind of feel like there is a possibility that there could be a new home or a new place of employment for my Leos. And I feel like I go back to Rochelle, trusting and honoring the guidance of your heart as you pursue those endeavors, as you give life to them, because it's about choice. The mystery is about choice. And I think for Leo, it's about claiming yourselves. I've been wanting to say this, or I've been saying this for Leo for a while. Leo's ruled by the sun, the king, gold, all things beautiful and sort of, shiny things that catch your attention. And I feel like somehow this Pluto Saturn conjunction has dumbed Leo down. And I'm like, no, rise, roar, be who you are. Because in the angel's advice, we have Francesca and the partnership card. And I really believe this is about partnership within yourself, following what you want for yourself, and then trusting a bigger picture of things. And I want to say it this way, because for my Leos, Astera is saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and not to compromise. And then we have the Baird. The Baird is a card that represents our history. It's also can talk about music, and occasionally I'll see it as a music man or a dynamic involving music. But for me, it's really about Leo following the guidance of your heart offers you a new. This is where Uranus comes in. This is where you're free from your old beliefs and you're revitalized by what Jupiter has to offer, your expanded new beliefs that the universe is supporting you. And that's where Astera comes in. And this is where you can actually turn the Baird and into the enchantment of storytelling. It's almost as if by allowing yourself the privilege of following your heart, Leo, you get to rewrite the story, which then inspires others. So let's just say that you're a Leo rising, sun, moon, or stelliums, and you want to have a creative career. And you've been fighting yourself back and forth. Can I do it? Can't I do it? I don't know. Give yourself an opportunity. Look for a new place to put yourself. Look for a new agent. Look for a new class. Look for something that will help support the way you believe, or the version you have for yourself, so that you can anchor in the belief. Okay, I think that makes sense. All right, let's go on to our Cancers. One little last thing for Leo, I want to say, again, we have 6-month influence on this eclipse. So when you continue to, it's not just about one day. It's about taking the dynamics that this one day offers you and then moving those dynamics over and over and over again into the future. So it's like waking up every day, and when you're brushing your teeth, you're thinking to yourself, what a great day this is going to be. And then you get in the shower and you thank God and the angels for bringing you that great dynamic that you want, whether it be, being an opportunity to be an actress, whether it's an opportunity to be a nurse, whether you want to be a politician. I don't really care what it is. And then watching over these next 6 months as the universe starts to put things into play that support that dynamic. It's time to take no prisoners, people. with your dreams and desires. It's time to say, I'm done with the BS of the old story. And now I'm gonna start to stake my claim. Okay, Cancer. All right, our first angel is Athena. The second is Desiree. The third is Crystal. And the final is Adriana. Okay, here we go. Athena's being joined by the Water Fairy. Desiree's being joined by the Partnership card. Crystal's being joined by the Wasp. And Adriana's being joined by Merlin. Okay. I've been feeling for a while that Cancer's been having some kind of little bit of challenges with their interpersonal relationships, both family and friends, environment a little bit. And I want to say it this way because I feel like my Cancers have been maybe a little bit overly cooperative with the group. And in doing so, maybe you've been inadvertently dumbing down your own wants and desires, because in Athena is saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then here's the Water Fairy. And I really want to say that for my Cancers, you're ruled by the moon. The moon rules the tides. I feel like this is about lovingly asserting yourself to yourself. And I'm going to go to the fourth position because here is Adriana and Merlin. And Adriana says she's leading you towards the answers to your prayers, through your dreams, through those thoughts and your intuitions. And then Merlin is about karma, about balance, alchemy, justice. I feel like it's this way. I feel like for some reason, Cancer has been overly, here's Desiree in the opportunity, obstacle, and the Partnership card. Desiree is a card of caution. I feel like you've been overly compromising. I feel like maybe, somebody's been saying they want to go to McDonald's every single day and you're like, no, I want to go to Taco Bell, and you never get to go to Taco Bell. I know it's a stupid analogy, but I feel like you're overly compromising because in the angel's advice is the Wasp and Crystal. And the Wasp is a frustrated energy. It's an angry energy. And then Crystal's saying, have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon. So this is what I want to say for my for my Cancers. It is kind of about claiming yourself. And I don't mean this in a way where you're going up against, no, I don't want to do what you want to do. It's more about an interior job of giving yourself permission to say, hey, my wants, my desires are just as important as the group. Again, Cancer rules motherhood. It rules the fourth house. It rules the family. And so I feel like Cancers may be thinking, even if you don't have children, you may be considering how your family will perceive what you want for yourself. It may be looking at too much on the outside world and how others will be interpreting your moves. And I feel like it's not about that. It's about you. It's about you being you. And I want to offer it this way too, because if for some reason Cancer wants to, be, that's funny. Well, small wildflowers. If Cancers want to have a really like a Hallmark Norman Rockwell type family dynamic, then grab onto it, man. Hold on and dig deep for it. It's kind of more about a savory experience versus sort of this superficial experience that you've been inadvertently, I want to say, agreeing to because you're being cooperative to the whole. And I feel like it's time to put a little bit of focus on you. Again, very kind of similar to Leo, but in a different way. Because I feel like Leo may be struggling with being too big, and I feel like Cancer may be struggling with being too small. Feeling a little insignificant within themselves. And I feel like it's more about no. When you take care of you, when you lovingly assert yourself towards you, you're bringing more balance in. So that's how I want to put it. All right, let's go into our Geminis. MK, are you saying gross about Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich? Laguna's funny. They don't allow fast food here. There's only 2 fast food restaurants in all of Laguna. I think one is a Taco Bell and the other is a KFC. And I don't go to either one of them. But, all right, here we go. This is we are on to Gemini. Gemini rising, Gemini moon, Gemini stelliums, Gemini sun. First angel is Francesca. The second is Archangel Gabriel. First time we've seen her today. Then Bridget. And finally, Rosetta. Okay. Joining Francesca is the Wealth card. Joining Archangel Gabriel is the Water Fairy. Joining Bridget is the Dog. And joining Rosetta is the Cat. Okay, Gemini. Francesca says, what do you visualize right now? Focus on that. Negativity will block your progress. And then we have the Wealth card. This Wealth card is about harmonious wealth for me. It's never about money. I don't find money to really bring wealth. Money enables us to have resources, yes. So I want to say this for Gemini. You will find harmonious wealth as you focus in on what it is you want to experience versus what it is you have experienced or what it is you're walking through. Because in the final position, I want to say, is Rosetta. And Rosetta will talk about, having a life's purpose, being a parent, teaching, watching over children. But I believe this is about the inner child for Gemini and the cat giving us 9 lives. I feel like this is really about, as you give life to the idea that a child is innocent in the sense of they believe in Santa Claus. They believe that when they get in a car to go to Disneyland, that's where they're going to get. And I feel like for my Geminis, it's time to believe that when you get in Spirit's car, it's going to take you where you want to go. And your job is to believe in that, to believe in, with a childlike innocence, that no matter what you've previously experienced, there is new life being offered to you. Because in the angel's advice, in the opportunity or the obstacle is Archangel Gabriel and the Water Fairy. This is where I feel like Gemini, being the twins, your feelings are going back and forth. Maybe you're feeling semi faithful and then fearful, and that's what this transit is going to send us back and forth, back and forth. Archangel Gabriel is saying, turn over those insecurities to me, because I will soon anchor your feelings. Because, and this is an interesting thing, in the angel's advice is the Dog and Bridget. And Bridget is about looking deeper into a situation, and the Dog is about unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. So, as my Geminis look deeper into what brings them harmonious wealth, and as you allow your intuitions to rise to the surface, to say to yourself a deeper knowing, and then turning over the scary parts, okay, the parts that you're unsure of, which is what Bridget is asking you to do, and to focus in on love, because I believe there is new life for you. And I want to say it this way. Oftentimes when we contemplate partnership with others, intimate partnerships, we go down the road of where we've been and what we didn't like. And I feel like this is partially what Francesca has to offer. Visualize the idea of your life being ease, being peaceful, being harmonious, being cooperative, and then allowing yourself to say, but I've had some experiences. My Gemini mind is like, oh, I don't know. I can bounce around, because this is where I believe that what's come before has not really been up to snuff. And it may have, if it had worked out, it may have provided something, but not the deeper parts of what you're looking for. And now it's about a childlike innocence, that there is new life ahead. And that's what I think is so important about this eclipse. This is where, most of us, when you meet somebody, when true love, when you're endeavoring an intimate relationship, there's the day before you met that person when everything seemed barren, and then you went out one night, or you went to something, or you clicked on that link and you decided to go to coffee with somebody, and things changed and a new momentum is starting. It's time for Gemini to give life to a new momentum, and that momentum is also considering the idea that what has come before was not what would bring you the true happiness of what you wanted. So it's okay for it to be in the past and to move forward. So Jupiter offering us new beliefs, Uranus offering us liberation from our old beliefs that can bring in new experiences. That's where I'm going with that. Okay, on to our Tauruses. And we finally get to me, my Taurus moon, and then my Aries rising. Okay. MK, you stay being childlike and fun. Don't let anybody dampen your spirit. This is what this whole period in time is about, is allowing our light to shine, regardless of I don't want to dumb down for anyone, because usually someone who's asking me to dumb down or to be, play by the rules is somebody who is not being authentic to their truth. They're too busy worried about what the outside world will perceive for them. So when you say, I'm going to give myself permission to laugh loudly, to believe in angels, to believe that the world is good, to believe my body works for me and not trying to tank me, then spirit can support that belief. We cannot, the soul lives eternally. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that we come back to do this, multiple times. Therefore, when spirit perceives us from our human experience, they don't worry the way we worry because they know we'll never get it wrong. We'll never get it right. We'll never die. This is just a series of experiences that give us an opportunity to make choices. And in those choices, we create a new experience. And then we create a new momentum. And those of us that have been doing this for a while agree to come to this planet to walk through this up and down roller coaster of contrast so that when we get our balance, we can help others and bring them along with us so they stand in their truth. Okay, on to Taurus. Now I'm just going to play Beat the Battery because I got to get through 2 more signs before my computer's going to go bye-bye. All right, everybody, here we go. Remember, we're going to have Christmas Day, 1 o'clock Pacific time. We will be doing about an hour. I'm not going to do readings with the cards per se. But we're just going to have a little bit of a chat. And we're going to have a little surprise Small Wildflowers and I for one of you in the live chat if you decide to show up. Okay, here we go. Taurus. Our first angel is Bridget. The second is Omega. The third is Astera. And the final is Adriana. Happy birthday, Earth Angel. Okay. Joining Bridget is the communications card. Joining Omega is the Lady of the Lake. Joining Astera is the mystery card. And joining Adriana is the protection card. Okay. So for my Tauruses, you're going through your Uranus is going through Taurus right now, and many of those early degree Taurians have been experiencing a lot of liberation and freedom. And some of you may have welcomed it and some of you may not have. But I want to offer you this because what I believe Bridget is asking you to look deeper into the situation. I think the situation is how you're communicating with yourself. What is your truth? What will truly bring you happiness? What is it that you really want? Because I believe, I'm going to the final position, that what Adriana and the protection card is saying that you are actually being led towards the things that you want, to your deeper truth. And this Uranian energy is helping you to get there, because I feel like it's shoving the little bulls a little bit. It's like, well, I really would like this, but I haven't seen anything like that, and I haven't really experienced it, so I don't know. I might settle because it's secure. Omega's saying in the opportunity and obstacle, victory is here. Keep up the good work. And here is the Lady of the Lake standing in your courage. Look at her. She's the Lady of the Lake is coming up out of the water. The water represents our emotions. It's tumultuous. She's literally, it's stormy feeling, but she's holding Excalibur. She is willing to stand in her truth and knows that she will be victorious because it is the choice of standing in alignment with spirit. This dynamic for Taurus right now is about liberating you from an old story. And as we use the supporting dynamics. Like, look, this eclipse is giving us an opportunity to look at what we believe, to be liberated from old beliefs, to set an intention for a new experience, and then allowing all the other transits that will follow to support that, because that's what Adriana is saying. And so for my Taurians, this week and this time, the holidays, this going into a new year and a new decade is an opportunity for you to look deep into how you talk to yourself. What is a story you tell yourself? And then know that I can change that story to I'm being protected and moving towards what I want in a much more authentic dynamic, in a much more rooted place, because Spirit is saying, yes, keep up the good work and be courageous and make this choice. And we will show you that your choice is not for naught. It's actually, it's going to come about. There's going to be a lot of beautiful, liberating energies coming up over this next year. And going into 2021, we're really going to start to see them rooted. So this is about taking it by the horns and no prisoners with what you want. All right, on to our Aries. And by the way, guys, when Uranus gets at 9 degrees Taurus, that's going to be my moon. So it's going to be very interesting to see how liberated I am from some of my old emotions. My father passed away almost 10 years ago in 2011. And still to this day, I have arguments with him in my head where I'm like, if you would have been this kind of dad, I would have been da-da-da-da-da. And then I can hear my dad from the other side saying, when are you going to get over it? Oh, my God. And I'm like, I don't know. I have a Taurus moon. I get a little stuck. So I'm really hoping that some of that's going to shift, or that my intention for that reconciliation to come in will be anchored. And thank you, Earth Angel, for saying that my hair looks pretty. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Aries, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Aries, my truth seekers. That's how I like to think of you. Think of myself. A spiritual warrior for the deeper truth. All right, here we go. Aries, our first angel is Teresa. The second is Grace and Antoinette. The third is Aurora. And the final is Chantal. Here we go. Foxy Girl 646, that's a lot of energy in Aries, a lot of fun energy. Woo. Okay. Okay, Teresa's being joined by the Death card. Grace and Antoinette is being joined by the High Priestess. Aurora's being joined by the Goblin. Oy, oy, oy. And Chantal is being joined by the Perception card. Okay. This is interesting. So Teresa talks about worry for me. She's a card of worry. She's kind of a card of fretting, taking care of others to neglecting myself in some ways. And then there's the transformation of the Death card. I want to put it this way for Aries. I don't necessarily think that this is about taking care of others, but I want to offer it this way. For those that are single, that are not in partnership, because when I go to the final position, I've got Chantal, the Romance Angel, and I've got the Perception card. I feel like for my Aries, it's kind of a time to reevaluate how you're viewing your love life. Because I feel like, I told you guys I'm an Aries rising, and on Thanksgiving, I had a beautiful meal. I was here by myself with, a nice glass of wine, a beautiful meal, and I felt like a scene from Sex and the City, and not a good scene, one of those sad scenes where Carrie's all by herself. And I remember saying to Spirit, it's time to surrender this sort of big girl attitude I've got, where I'm all good, and I don't necessarily need or want to be in a relationship. Now, I'm putting it this way for my Aries, because I feel like this is about having to really This Teresa is a card of, as I said, worry, and here's the transformation. I feel like Aries is so independent, so focused on what they know that it's maybe a little challenging to find a partner that you feel aligned to, hence the perception card in Chantal. But in the opportunity or the obstacle is Grace and Antoinette saying to have compassion. And then here's the High Priestess, which is about a vision of yourself. I want to offer this for my Aries. I feel like you could be in a relationship with anybody if you wanted to be, but maybe you don't want to be with anybody. Maybe you want to be with that somebody. And now is a time to have compassion for yourself as you stand forth and call forth that bigger vision that maybe your ego has started to tell you, you sure you're going to find it? You sure you're going to get it? But this is Aurora saying, break the box of thought, hold the line. So this is what I want to say for my Aries. I think you guys have watched the show for a while. No, I'm 60 years old. I've never been married. I never had children. And honestly, to do this work was the most important thing in my life. I have Rahu in the sixth house in Placidus, and it makes me very voracious to do this work. And yet, now that I have been doing it, and I think that might be why I talked earlier that I'm just not feeling the wow for my work, is because I'm not sharing my work on a personal level with anyone. So I feel like for Aries, it's time to give life to a deeper truth and to allow for the transformation and the vulnerability of that deeper truth. And in doing so, you're inviting the universe to give you a new perception of moving forward. And I want to put it this way. Here we're talking about Jupiter. We're talking about Uranus, bringing in, what I'm sorry, hold on a second. Here, what did I do here? Oh, I goofed. Sorry. I don't know what I did there. I'm not going to touch things anymore. What did I do? I apologize. I goofed here. I did something. I don't know what I did. Anyway, never mind. I'll leave it be. Okay, Aries, back up for a second. Okay, the opportunity and or the foundational position is maybe that you're feeling like, okay, this time has passed me by. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I have no evidence of what I want. It's time to have compassion because you're calling forth a bigger experience, and your ego may be telling you, you sure you're going to get it? You sure? Maybe you're asking for too much. When I was younger, my dad used to tell me I was too picky all the time. He used to tell me my standards were too high. I needed to lower things up in order to be able to be happy or to be able to be in the herd. And you know what? I didn't want to be in the herd. I wanted an elevated experience in all my relationships, in my friendships, in my intimate relationships, in my parental relationships. And everybody was willing to take sort of a dumbed down version of it. Something diluted is the way I want to put it. And I wanted a rich, savory experience. So I think that it's Aries' opportunity right now to look at your perception of things and to honor that you're looking for a bigger picture of things. And in doing so, you are using this Jupiter and Uranus influence on this eclipse to call forth this dynamic of thanking the universe for giving you an experience that supports the version and the vision you have for yourself. Okay, and I want to put it this way too, because I have been shown by Spirit that there are many of us that are of a certain age that are actually revamping and rewriting the aging process. So rather than having one foot in the grave and it's not worth trying to have a career, a love life, to enjoy your body at a certain age, that is all obsolete. And so here we are standing at this fork in the road where we get to choose to believe a bigger version of ourselves and to see that there are many things in life that we are just now getting to taste and to savor, so that those that stand behind us, the 20-something-year-olds, the teens, the 30s, the 40s, those people can start to see life and growing, maturing on this journey as being, it gets sweeter, it gets more vital, it becomes more delicious as we grasp the things that we want, step out of the herd and into those individualized versions of ourselves. So that's what Uranus has to offer, to liberate ourselves from old beliefs, to connect to the angelic realm, to then support a bigger version for all of us. So I guess that's how I want to put that for Aries. I want to say too, I want to honor my Aries, because oftentimes we can seem a little bit assertive when we're standing in our truth, and we can be a little unrelenting. We can be a little no, you can't shift me. No, I'm not moving. I'm not buying your. It's okay. Have compassion for yourself as you stand there, because I believe that down the line, those that are trying to tame you will be inspired by you, Aurora. Aurora, because everybody wants their happy ending. Everybody wants to feel purposeful and valued on this planet. No man is an island. And yet we've come into a time when there's so much islandy stuff. And I think we want to come back together. So I think that there is love being offered for Aries. I think that there is a resurgence in the relationships you currently have as you surrender to a deeper truth. And that deeper truth is it's a softer truth. It's not an angry truth. It's not a truth I'm mad because I haven't had it. It's a faithful truth that says, you know what? I may not have had it, but I believe it's coming. All right. That's it for today. Again, we had two numbers. We did not have a winner, 353 and 146. If indeed anybody wants to schedule an angel reading with me, you can go to Lotta's website, astrolotta.com. I'm under the readers menu. And we will be here on Christmas Day. That is, I believe, Wednesday. Yes. And we will, we're just having a little hour, get together and commune and talk and spend some time together. And we'll have a little surprise for y'all. And don't be afraid to hit the like button if indeed, and don't be afraid to put your number in. We're still going to have a drawing for next week. Any number between 2 and 500. We'll be drawing 2 numbers every week, hopefully getting more winners. And that's it for today. So I want to thank you all for joining, and I want to thank Small Wildflowers for always being here. She is just, I couldn't do this show without her. I'm so blessed and appreciative of her energy. Thank you all for coming. I want to send lots of love out to you all, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Namaste, everybody. May God and the angels watch over you.